The 2026 economy under Donald Trump. Will it boom or will it bust? Now, you've heard the headlines. Donald Trump and his Treasury Secretary, Scott Bessent, are out and about telling everybody that the economy is doing great. The boom is back. Now, they throw out a few official reports and they tell everybody that there's nothing to worry about. The economy is doing great. Well, I'm here to tell you this. They're lying. I'm David Tomsik, and thank you for watching Clear Signal. Well, they're lying, all right. Right now, we're going to give you 3 numbers they desperately hope you don't know about, and that if you did know about these numbers, they hope you don't understand them. Now, today, we're going to show you that we are having a silent collapse in this country. We're going to prove it. And by the end of this video, you're going to realize what's happening in 2026, and we're going to give you exactly what you need to know to prepare yourself for it. Now, it's easy to get swept up in the official story. Caroline Leavitt, Donald Trump's White House press secretary and propaganda minister, has been spinning the economic news like a top. Leavitt has defended Trump's tariffs and is telling the American people how they will solve all of our debt issues. They say the U.S. economy is defying expectations, with some analysts forecasting solid GDP growth for the rest of 2026. They'll show you a resilient stock market and tell you everything is fine and that the rough patches are behind us. Now, this is the narrative they want you to believe. A simple, reassuring story that the powers in charge have it all under control. They celebrate these big, shiny numbers because it makes them look successful. But this celebration is a dangerous illusion. It's like admiring the fancy dining room on the Titanic while ignoring the iceberg scraping against the hull. Because underneath the cheerful headlines, the very foundation of our economy is cracking. And if you look closely at the real raw data, not the curated talking points, you'll see a picture that isn't just concerning, it's terrifying. A fragile labor market that's much weaker than they admit, a divided consumer where only the rich are thriving, and a national debt so massive its interest payments are suffocating our economy's future. Pillar 1, the fragile labor market. Now, the first number they don't want you to look at is the truth about the job market. They'll boast you about the unemployment rate, which dropped to 4.4% in December of 2025. Now, what they don't tell you is that the unemployment rate when Joe Biden left office was 4.1%. Just saying. But that single number hides the massive vulnerability we have in the labor market. It just doesn't tell you that the rate has spiked to its highest level since 2021, just a month before. That's not stability, that's volatility. Let's pull back the curtain. The U.S. labor market is softening fast. In December 2025, the economy added a measly 50,000 jobs. To make things worse, the numbers for the months before that were revised downward, erasing another 76,000 jobs we thought were created. When you zoom out, the picture gets even bleaker. For all of 2025, the U.S. economy added a net total of just 584,000 jobs for the entire year. Outside of a recession, this is the worst year for job growth we've seen in a century. So where is this so-called job growth even coming from? It's not happening across the board. It's heavily concentrated in government-subsidized sectors like healthcare and social assistance. Meanwhile, critical areas like manufacturing and business are shedding jobs. This isn't a sign of a healthy, diverse economy. It's a sign of an economy on life support. So what does this mean for you? It means the game has changed. A soft labor market gives companies all the power. They aren't desperate to hire anymore. That means less room for you to negotiate your salary. It means fewer chances to jump to a better paying job. And it means your job is far less secure than it was just a year ago. The foundation of your financial security, a stable, well-paying job, is cracking. Pillar number 2, a divided consumer. Now, the second part of this lie is the myth about the strong American consumer. We're told that people are spending like crazy, but this is maybe the most deceptive part of the whole story. What's really happening is a great economic split. We have 2 different economies running at the same time. In one economy, we have the wealthiest households, and they're doing great. They're the ones dropping money on luxuries and high-end goods. keeping the boom narrative alive on the news. But then there's the other economy, the one a huge part of the country is actually living in. In this economy, more than half of all Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. These are families forced to cut back on everything, putting off major purchases and focusing on essentials. Their spending isn't on luxuries, it's just about keeping up. Now, this is the narrative that gets buried in White House press briefings. This is the narrative no one wants to hear about. You can't claim a booming economy when the majority of your population feels broke, anxious, and is just being forced to cut back. This isn't a boom. It's a bubble of prosperity for a select few, while everyone else is just trying to patch the leaks in their finances. And this fragility is made even worse by a third and more catastrophic pillar. Now, before I get to that final number, the one that possesses a genuine threat to our entire system, I want to be clear. I'm not here to scare anybody. I'm here to provide you the truth so that you can prepare. If you enjoy this content and want to see us create more, please consider subscribing to our channel. And while you're at it, like and share our videos. We need your help to grow. I thank you for watching. I thank you for your support. Now let's get on to that final number. Pillar number 3, the crippling national debt. Now, the final nail in the coffin of the boom narrative is the national debt. More specifically, the crippling cost of paying the interest on the debt. As of early January 2026, the U.S. national debt stands at a staggering $38.4 to $38.5 trillion. That number is so huge, it's almost meaningless. So let's make it personal. Over the last year alone, the debt shot up by $2.25 trillion. Now remember, Donald Trump said he was going to reduce the debt. He didn't. That breaks down to an extra $6,624 for every single person in the country. Your share of the national debt went up by over $6,000, and you got nothing in return. But the real crisis isn't just the total amount, it's the amount of interest we must pay on it. Think of it like a credit card. For years, we've got away with piling on debt because interest rates were near zero. But now the rates are higher, and the bill is finally coming due. But in the first 2 months of the 2026 fiscal year, the U.S. government spent $179 billion just on interest payments. They're not paying down the debt. That's just the fee for having it. This made interest payments the second largest government expense, behind only Social Security. We are now spending more on interest than we are on our entire defense budget. For the full 2026 fiscal year, projections show that these interest payments will hit an astronomical $1 trillion. That will eat up nearly 14% of all federal spending for just servicing our old debts. This creates what experts call a death spiral. To make these massive interest payments, the government has to borrow even more money, which just increases the debt and leads to even higher interest payments down the road. It suffocates productive investment and fuels inflation, silently eating away at your savings. It's a crisis happening right now, and it's the single biggest threat to long-term stability of the American economy. So as I promised, I'm going to let you know how you can protect yourself. So the job market is weak, the consumer is broke, and the national debt is a runaway train. So what does this mean for you, and what can you actually do about it? This is where you stop being a spectator and start taking control. The system might be broken, but you don't have to go down with it. Here are 4 concrete steps you can take right now to build your own economic fortress. First, build a real cash buffer. The old advice of a 3 to 6 month emergency fund is obsolete. In an economy that's unpredictable, you need to aim for 9 to 12 months of living expenses saved in cash. This isn't about getting rich. It's about making yourself untouchable. When you have a year of runway, you make decisions from a position of strength, not fear. You would walk away from a toxic job, navigate a layoff, or seize an opportunity without being desperate. Number 2, recession-proof your income. Relying on a single paycheck from one employer is one of the riskiest financial moves you can make today. You have to diversify your income streams. This could mean developing a high-value skill that's always in demand, like a skilled trade, coding, or sales. It could mean starting a small side business. The goal here is simple. If one income stream dries up, you must have another one to fall back on. Third, you have to control your personal rate of inflation. While the government battles the national inflation rate, you have direct control over your own. This is the time to be ruthless with your expenses. Go through your bank statements and cancel every subscription you don't use. People have a lot of them. They forget about them. Call your service providers and negotiate a better rate. Master cooking at home instead of bleeding money on expensive takeout. For every dollar you save is a dollar for your cash buffer or your investments. Finally, invest defensively. Don't run scared. When things look dicey, the temptation is to pull all your money out of the market and hide. That is almost always a mistake. Instead, you need to adjust your strategy. This isn't a time for high-risk, speculative gambles. Focus on high-quality, dividend-paying companies with a long track record of surviving downturns. Look at valuable assets that are trading at a discount. The goal here isn't to hit a home run. It's to stay in the game and protect your assets as they grow. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you learned something from it. If you enjoy this kind of content and want to see more, please consider subscribing to this channel. Also, hit the like button and share it with your friends and family. Here at Clear Signal, we want to make sure you get the most accurate information we can find, and we guarantee it. Again, thanks for watching. Don't forget to love your neighbor as yourself, and I'll see you next time right here on Clear Signal.